All right. Hi, Veronica. It's good to see you again.
Hey, Melissa. It's good to see you.
Thank you. How's your week going so far?
It's going, I guess. It's only Tuesday, so.
Yeah. So I know it's been about a week since we last met, and I just kind of want to check in how you feel, where you're at with things this week. Has anything come up in the past week? Any changes?
No, pretty much the same nonsense.
Okay. Okay. Well, I want to try something a little bit different with you today. I don't think we've really talked about this before. If you're up for it, it requires a little bit of imagination. Do you think you can handle that?
I'll try.
Okay, I want you to kind of have fun with it too. Get a little creative. It's not supposed to be overly serious, but just kind of for the imagination part of it.
Okay.
Are you up for that?
Okay.
Okay. So what this is, it's kind of they call it a miracle question. So what I want to ask you is if we're gonna say that there pretend like your life is a movie and something crazy happens, and you wake up tomorrow morning and it's a year from now. You found me so far? You wake up tomorrow morning and all of a sudden it's a year from now. And the craziest thing is that your life looks exactly the way that you could ever dream. The best possible scenario for every part of your life. This is my dream life a year from now, and I want to know kind of what that looks like. It could be anything. You can go crazy. It doesn't have to be realistic in any way. And that can mean anything that you want. But if in your dream world, a year from now, you wake up, I want to know what your world would look like.
Okay. Well, um, I I would be living on a beach.
Okay.
Okay, like I would have this huge glass window, and I can look outside and see the ocean, and that's that's my house.
Okay.
And this is hard. And my boyfriend would see a year from now he would have um, we, we would have gotten married.
Okay.
Okay. So we'd be married, and we have spent time um, uh, drinking coffee out on the beach, walking. Um, like we, and that's like our normal thing that we do. Uh, he's nicer to me. He, we don't fight as much anymore. In a year, like that would be my perfect world. Um, he I found out he wasn't cheating on me.
Okay.
Okay, so and I got a promotion at my job, and I'm making good money, and maybe we're talking about having kids. I think I don't know if I'm ready to throw them into the picture yet, but maybe
Okay.
we're talking about it. Um, my hair is longer. Yeah, is that good?
Yeah. It sounds awesome, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds very similar, I would say, to I love the beach and I love the ocean.
Really?
And I wish I could afford to just, wake up to the ocean, right? Every morning, the waves crashing. That would be nice. Okay, that was good. That was good.
Okay.
You are also welcome to add on at any point
Okay.
to that if you think of something new that you really want.
Okay.
But that's a great vision. That was pretty good.
Thanks.
So I just want to talk a little bit more about that and find out more what that might look like to you also. Um, so do you go to the beach much now? I mean, living in Florida, it's not super far away, right?
Yeah, sometimes I go, but like a lot of times I'm just not in the mood,
Yeah.
to like, like sometimes I'll ask him if he wants to go, and
Mhm.
he's always busy and doesn't want to, and so like sometimes I go, but a lot of times I just fight and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never get to.
I always feel like it'd be easier if you live out there, then you're right there.
Right.
But, you know, half the
Exactly.
battle's packing up your car and everything too, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Now I have to drive there and pack up everything, and it just turns into a whole thing.
Yeah. One of the things you mentioned, although you were married and talking about kids, that you guys would walk on the beach and drink coffee out by the beach. You mentioned that your boyfriend is nicer and you guys aren't fighting as much. Can you tell me if he were nicer? Can you tell me kind of like what his actions would look like what kinds of things he would do for you or say to you? What do you think that would look like?
Um, he would invite me out, like when he goes out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he would ask me to go with him, and then like be happy when I'm there, not like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like a tag along that bothered him to the point of him taking me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he would. What's your question?
You said that he'd be nicer and you guys wouldn't fight so much.
Oh, and what that would look like?
Yeah.
And that we would have like joint things, like right now everything we have is separate, even though we've been together for so long, like
Mm-hmm.
everything we have is separate.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, maybe we could have like a bank account together, not that he can't have his or I can't have mine, but just something to show that he's a little bit more serious,
Mm-hmm.
And that he wants to and that he's involved and like in this
Mm-hmm.
all the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, have you guys ever talked about marriage before? Has that ever come up?
Mm, um, Sometimes like I'll say things,
Mm-hmm.
um, but that turns into a fight too because he avoids it or he's like, we'll talk about it later. I'm busy right now, but he's like not busy. Like he's playing video games or like looking on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So it's not really like him bringing that up so much, but you kind of drop in little things here and there, just the idea of it.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you guys ever? I mean, you've been together for a long time now, and I mean, there's I think a lot of different ways that people can have relationships, but I think people want different things in their life. Some people want to get married, some people don't want to get married. Some people just want to kind of stay in what's comfortable to them. Do you find that there is anything that you guys kind of work at together, or what are the things that you do together? Um,
We fight together.
okay, okay, bonding experience, right?
So totally bonding.
Do you ever feel like any progress gets made from those fights?
Um, Not really. Like, I think sometimes I will make a point that he like just cannot um, argue, and then I think like those are probably the times where like he's a little bit nicer and like we get along,
Okay.
right? Because we're not like fighting 24/7, and so sometimes like it'll be okay, but then I don't know, like I don't know, maybe I should take a hint, like maybe he's just not that into me anymore.
Well, and it sounds. I mean, you're still together, and you guys are living together.
Yes.
And do you guys eat meals together?
Mm, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Probably if your schedules kind of match up.
Yeah, if our schedules match up, or if we're not, if we're getting along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he ever talk about the things that he wants, or if there's anything that he wants from your relationship to look different? I know I've heard a little bit about what you would like to look different, but do you have any sense of what he's kind of wants?
Sometimes he, sometimes he says he wants me to leave him alone.
Yeah.
So that's a want of his. Sometimes, um, he, no, he doesn't really. He just tells me I need to calm down
Okay. Okay.
and quit nagging him.
Okay. Well, sounds like I know you have mentioned that you've kind of brought some of those things up to him before. Excuse me, about inviting you out. I know you've said that you've expressed to him that you would like him to invite you out more and kind of ask him about some of these things. What kind of, I'm sure it's a lot of pushback, but what does that look like if you're asking him about some of these things? Or he seems kind of avoidant of some of the topics from what you've said. If you if when in the times when you're asking him about kind of what he could be doing differently, does he kind of just is it mostly deflecting what you're feeling back from him, or kind of that's kind of where the arguments are starting if you try to bring something up?
Um, yeah, like he'll roll his eyes, you know, and go like, "Here we go again," you know, or like sometimes he'll leave. Sometimes I'll leave, you know, because I just get so like. But yeah.
Okay. I want to go a little bit back to that kind of perfect dream world of yours. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit like if you in your life, is it a goal of yours to be married in your life? Would you like to be married?
Yes, doesn't every woman?
I don't think so. I don't think every woman wants to, but I think many do. So you'd like to be married in your life and possibly have kids. You've mentioned that. It's a possibility. Maybe not right now.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future at some point it might come up. So in your marriage, what, again, in dream world, not necessarily with any specific person, but in your dream world, what does marriage look like?
Like he won't be able to leave as easy.
Okay.
I also think that if we have kids, he won't be able to leave as easy.
Okay. But I mean, I guess like how do you want someone to treat you? What do you want a relationship, your perfect relationship? Your husband is there with you for the rest of your life, right? That's the goal. He's stuck with you, you're stuck with him. The two of you going through everything together. You talked about being more joint things, kind of combining your lives, um, not fighting with that person so much. But what does it look like? How does that person treat you? And how does that person make you feel about yourself in your dream world?
Makes me feel like an equal, respected, loved, um, treats me um, like like he wants to be there and wants to include me in the things that he does, and you know, whether it's to go to the grocery store or to do other things that people do. He wants me there, you know, and then if I don't want to go, I mean, of course I'll want to go because we should do everything together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in your dream world, your future self, we'll say again a year from now, or whenever from now, you're in the future. You as a wife, can you tell me what kind of wife you want to be to that husband? What it looks like? Kind of similar. Do you see those similar things, those qualities in you that that's how you would want to treat your husband?
Well, I think that the way I treat my boyfriend now is the way I would treat my husband. Like, I want to spend time together. I do everything that he wants. Like, like if, um, like sometimes I cook,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times I cook, or, like if he wants to go out with his friends, I mean, I want to be included, but like I also, I feel like maybe if he included me more,
Mm-hmm.
then, sometimes if he's like, hey, I just want to be with the guys or whatever, yeah, maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal. So like, I think what I do now is there's nothing wrong with it. I think that he's the one that is not nice to me.
Okay. Is there anything you would want to do differently? Like, do you feel that you are your best self? Like, is there anything that do you like the person that you are? Do you feel like?
No, I hate fighting all the time.
Mm-hmm. And I get that, but I guess I'm looking at just you. So I want to look at you apart from him too. When you are on your own, and I know you haven't really been on your own specifically, but even if it's the moments that you have, do you make time for yourself also? I know a lot of times he's out kind of doing things. You guys have a lot of separate things you do in your life, but do you like the person you are? Do you like the things that you do when you have that time? Or do you feel like a lot of that time is consumed
With him,
with
by
worrying
him.
about him and what he's doing? And okay, okay. What? Now you mentioned that in perfect dream world that you would still want to be able to give that person some space. You mentioned that if they made you feel more included, that you would feel like if he wants to go do things with the guys, that you would give him the space to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, not that I understand it,
Mm-hmm.
because I think people who are married or together should do like most things together. But if, like I guess like, I know sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
people probably want. So
Okay. So I just want to ask you a little bit more about what that looks like for you then too. Again, apart from future husband, apart from your boyfriend, in your future, what does that look like? How would you make time for yourself? How do you take care of yourself, or what are the things that you do? I know we talked about kayaking before, right? You like doing some kayaking.
yeah.
Kind of how do you think you that you currently kind of take care of yourself, and in the future, like the things that you're interested? What do those things look like?
Well, like I could go to the spa,
Okay.
and like have a day where I take care of
Mm-hmm.
myself. I like to do that, but then I can't ever relax my mind enough
Mm-hmm.
to do that. So I think if I had, like, if my home life was more stable, maybe I'd be able to do that. Maybe we could do like a partner thing where he does a spa thing and I do a spa thing,
Mm-hmm. A couples massage
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Activities. Okay. And I know you said you have a girlfriend that kind of knows about the whole situation. You've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you guys get together much? Is there anything that you guys enjoy doing together?
We talk on the phone. Sometimes, like if I have a day off, um, and he might be at work or still sleeping, like we'll meet up for coffee or breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah, so like we hang out sometimes.
Okay. Does that happen very often, or how often would you say you see her?
I don't know, it just kind of depends. Like sometimes I'll go like 3 weeks in a row seeing her once or twice a week, and then sometimes we're so busy that we'll go like a month without seeing each other. It just depends.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think that was really interesting to hear some of those things from you too. And so thank you for kind of tapping into your creative side. Um, what I want you to think about, tell me what you think about this, but this week I'm wondering before next week if you would consider looking a little bit more, thinking about kind of that dream world a year from now, your future, what you kind of want that to look like. But I also want you to think a little bit about kind of some of the things you're doing as far as self care And just to be a little bit more mindful of them this week, if there's something that when you have some time to yourself, kind of what you're doing with that time and kind of how you're taking care of yourself and kind of helping your own kind of happiness in those little moments too. So even if you're not really doing anything, if it's having some coffee outside in your backyard, those little things that you kind of mentioned, um, just notice them and let me, and I want to talk a little bit more about that next week too. If you can notice them, or if you try to initiate anything like that, kind of things that you're doing on your own too. I just want to know a little bit more what that might look like. If you think about that too.
Okay.
If it's with your friend, kind of apart from boyfriend for right now, kind of just to be a little bit more mindful of those things.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yes,
You think you can handle that this week?
I think so.
Okay, that sounds good. Then I will kind of see you next week and we'll talk some more, okay?
Thank you.
All right, have a good week.
You too. Bye.